Superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
I say.
How did The View go from promoting unity and acceptance to launching an all-out attack on Carrie Underwood, one of the classiest, most talented voices in music, just because she agreed to sing at the presidential inauguration? You'd think someone like Carrie, basically the sweetheart of country music, would get a pass for wanting to celebrate her country at a historic event. But nope. The moment she said yes, the usual suspects came crawling out of the woodwork and the cancel culture mob pounced. People actually started calling for her to be canceled, claiming she was normalizing a convicted felon. Yes, you read that right. They threw out an accusation so absurd, it's almost laughable. But I'm here to break down exactly how this drama spiraled out of control.
I've scheduled a spa day.
I'm not even going to tell you what I'm doing. Don't worry. I'm not telling. No, I'm not talking. I'm not telling. No, because it was always in the books. Who knew this was going to be the day that it shows? Because it's also a very interesting day, right? The 21st.
It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And you can choose to celebrate it how you want. You can honor MLK.
I'm going to honor him and at the
and get a
spa.
spa treatment.
Well, as long as it's a free country and it holds, I would agree with everybody. It is a free country at the moment.
Well, yeah. You know, but it's up to us to make sure that doesn't start to change.
Yes, right.
You know,
Well,
that's...
we're trying.
Well, we're trying, yes. And it's important not to forget that we have that right. It is up to us.
Yeah.
Now, there are other people performing too, and I don't really even want to bring it up.
And why Carrie Underwood might just be the only one in this mess taking the high road. Before all the accusations and name-calling, Carrie Underwood was the darling of the music world. She skyrocketed into the spotlight as that small-town girl with a big voice on a popular singing competition. From day one, she kept her nose clean. You never saw her face plastered across tabloids for scandal after scandal. She didn't need dramatic feuds or questionable stunts to climb the charts. People adored her because she was genuine, graceful, and ridiculously talented. She sold millions of records, racked up awards, and charmed fans without ever getting tangled in political drama. Then came the infamous inauguration invite, a patriotic celebration, a dream event for any artist, right? Standing at the Capitol, belting out America the Beautiful, and reminding Americans that we share a common flag. What's the big deal if Carrie accepted that invitation with gratitude and a voice that can move mountains? Well, according to her critics, it was enough to label her a MAGA star, and they called for her to be canceled, boycotted, blacklisted, you name it. Some fans defended her on social media, but a wave of critics came crashing in, determined to bring her down, all for standing on a stage and singing America the Beautiful.
You know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
How dare she? Let's talk about the moment Carrie made her decision. She received the official call to perform at the inauguration, a huge honor. Instead of playing coy, she proudly announced she was thrilled to sing for the country she loves. She made a statement about unity, about how we all need to come together and look toward the future. About as uncontroversial as it gets, right? Well, you'd think so. Cue the firestorm. Social media exploded with people accusing Carrie of normalizing someone they despised. Some fans demanded refunds for her concerts, and a few went so far as to threaten to never stream her music again. But guess what? A whole new wave of supporters came rushing in. People admired her for standing firm, for not bowing to the pressure, for showing real backbone backbone, Carrie wasn't just standing there. She was owning her decision, and a lot of folks respected that. While some celebrities were running and hiding from the president, Carrie wasn't afraid to show up and sing her heart out.
Country music, I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I can't sing.
You would not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
A lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions for a lot of reasons.
Okay, fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
I would love for you to do a roast at the Trump inauguration.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no one else had any
So there we are.
It was polarizing. Carrie's name was suddenly on everyone's lips. The critics, they lit up social media with childish name-calling, labeling her a traitor, a sellout, and a puppet of the establishment, as if she'd committed some unspeakable crime. And of course, The View jumped in, stirring the pot even further. One of the hosts actually claimed performing at the inauguration was like normalizing a convicted felon, even though last I checked, no one's serving time over there. But let's not get lost in the weeds here. Carrie's only crime was celebrating America with her voice on a historic day. And that's when the real attack started. Another co-host chimed in saying she wouldn't have sung for this administration. Fine. That's her choice. But to publicly shame someone who feels differently, that's the complete opposite of free expression. The usual suspects piled on, accusing Carrie of everything under the sun, without a shred of evidence. And the moral authority, the hosts on The View threw out their take that if fans didn't like it, they could just boycott her music, as if they get to decide who gets to make a living.
I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
Help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray.
Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys.
But did Carrie's choice blow up in her face? Not even close. She's still raking in awards, selling out performances, and making bank. The outrage fizzled as the next social media cycle rolled around. But don't forget how she was crucified at the time. Look at her record sales and ticket sales now. She's doing just fine. The labels didn't turn their backs on her because they know she's a moneymaker. And those loyal fans who jumped ship, they've been replaced by people who admire her for not caving to the mob. What's truly remarkable about Carrie's story is how it exposes the hypocrisy of cancel culture. Remember the Dixie Chicks scandal years ago? They were blacklisted for speaking out against a past president. Back then, people on the right were all for canceling them. Now the tables have turned, and those so-called champions of free speech are the ones trying to shut down Carrie. The lesson: hypocrisy runs rampant when we let partisan rage take over. But here's what The View and the cancel culture crowd missed. Carrie Underwood is a grown woman who doesn't need anyone's permission to be herself. Whether she's on her 10th platinum album or just starting out, she has every right to sing for her country, no matter who the president is. And that's the real sin she committed, stepping outside the bubble of political correctness. Once you do that, forget tolerance.
Calling for her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying there are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys.
I don't think so, but then you pushed her and she said, yeah, I guess I am.
Well, I said to her, do you believe that women should make the same amount of money as men? Well, I guess I am a feminist.
Yeah, and she said, I guess I am a feminist. So I think people feel pretty strongly about it. I think art is art, and you know, you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, they wouldn't ask me, so I have no.
Right, yeah. They're not asking any of us.
The pitchforks come out and the moral lectures begin. Meanwhile, Carrie just keeps on singing, racking up hits and laughing all the way to the bank. Carrie Underwood is shattering The View's lecture circuit by simply standing on a stage and doing what she loves, singing for her country on a day meant to celebrate the peaceful transfer of power. People lost their minds, threatened boycotts, and labeled her all sorts of nasty things, but none of it matters. Why? Because when you're sincere, your fans can smell it from a mile away, and they respect expected. Carrie didn't hide. She didn't throw mud at anyone who disagreed with her. She came with a message of unity, something we could all use more of. So here's the takeaway. Let's stop acting shocked when an artist doesn't pass our personal purity test. Maybe, just maybe, this whole fiasco proves that if you stand strong and ignore the outrage mob, you'll come out the other side even stronger. Carrie Underwood is living proof of that. You can screech about her being a MAGA puppet all day, but at the end of the day, she'll still be a multi-platinum artist with more fans than her haters can handle. The world moves on. The real fans stay loyal. And the View's latest meltdown? Just a blip on the radar. Keep singing, Carrie. If anyone's got a problem with it, that's their issue, not yours.